After watching the first 2 episodes of this show, I am convinced James Gunn cranks his hog to hentai pornography. You cannot convince me otherwise. I don't know if that's gonna get this video age restricted, what I just said, but it doesn't really matter. You're all adults here, aren't you? I assume most of the people that watch me have a brain, which means 22 and up, I assume. Oh, that is tequila and soda. Beautiful. I've been drinking tequila ever since I did that rock video last week. I guess the rock's rubbing off on me. Creature Commandos. The start to the new DC universe. The first 2 episodes just dropped. First thing I want to say before I actually go into my review of the show, and before I go on, it's pretty good. But before we get to the review, I just want to say, I find it so bizarre that we decide we're going to reboot the DC universe, which I'm all for, by the way. I think this whole Snyder cult needs to go away for good. I'm so sick of seeing that argument. The idea to reboot the DCU is good, but to keep some aspects canon from the old guard is bizarre to me, and to make the announcement that the first project to officially restart the DC universe is some obscure animated TV show that's going on a streaming service that isn't worldwide is bizarre. More bizarre is the fact that you only get the first 2 episodes, which really don't do anything to keep you wanting to watch more week to week. It's truly a bizarre business venture so far. It really is. I have full faith in James Gunn. I have a video on my channel saying, I think Superman, his movie coming out in July next year, will change superhero movies for the better. I do believe that, still do. And I have faith in James Gunn, I do. I just don't know why this was the first thing you do. All right, let's talk about the show. It's about, it's the Suicide Squad, but monsters. That's all it is. This is such James Gunn stuff again. This is gonna sound critical. I'm not trying to be critical, but this is like the 3rd time James Gunn has done this. Guardians of the Galaxy, The Suicide Squad, now Creature Commandos, a team of misfits that have tragic backstories and they learn to work together and overcome the bad person. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying, going back to my original point, why is this the first thing you do? The show might end with teasers or a cliffhanger leading to the expanding story of DC. Remember James Gunn said that the first chapter of his universe was called Gods and Monsters?
This first chapter is called Gods and Monsters.
So there is probably a big door opening up towards the end of this show. I really do hope this show justifies its existence. My immediate reaction is just confusion. And, I had a few tequilas last night when I was watching it, and I gotta say, I was intimidated and aroused at the same time. This is a really weird show. It's a really weird show. It's so James Gunn. It's got the weird rock music, it's got the weird humor that's outdated, that you just don't understand some of the references, and it's got a lot of sex. It's really got a lot of sex and female characters drawn in really sexy ways. And hey, I'm all for it. I think we need to bring back sex appeal to our movies and TV shows. I feel like, apart from glazing hot men, this is gonna make me sound sexist, but attractive women, the stereotype of the attractive woman that we used to get, has slowly been phased out for more moderate looking women. Don't attack me, feminists. But here's an objective opinion fact of life. Sex sells. No man in his right mind wants to go and look at someone that isn't hot as fuck. So I guess it makes sense to make all these animated characters really sexy, like with the big hips and the big boobies. But again, I just find that down the line of the DC universe, the tones are gonna clash, because this is all interconnected. So we're going from this, which is full of zombie Frankenstein bride sex, Eastern European horny princess sex, to Superman and his pet dog saving the world from something. I just don't understand how the DC universe is going to transcend the tones. The one thing I will say about Marvel is, despite the quality, it's consistent, and the TV shows and the movies, they all look the same. Same aspect ratio, same color grading, same sort of look. I think in Marvel, the whole MCU, the only project that really didn't stick to the same format was Ant-Man, which was a wider frame. I don't understand that to this day, but Marvel kept it all the same. DC, we're going from animated now. Apparently James Gunn wants to do gaming as well, which I don't know how he's going to do that with the length of game cycles, but gaming, movies, live action, TV shows. So they're all going to be different formats. I assume he's going to use different cameras, like some filmmakers might use film, some might use digital. Look, this is just me coming from I'm trying to give you an opinion on this whole DC thing that you're not going to hear from other reviewers. That's why you should subscribe, because I think outside the box. I think like a businessman filmmaker. Think about this. When everything looks the same, feels the same, it feels cohesive. It feels larger, and in fact will add to the stakes. When things feel different, like you go from Creature Commandos to a world-ending event in, say, Superman that's coming out, it's not going to feel connected, I don't think. Even if you use the same actors in voice roles and live action roles, I don't know if it's going to come over. I don't. So my fear for the DC universe is it's going to be too confused. Maybe I'll be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'll eat my words, but that is my fear going forward. Let's get back to the show. I think the voice acting is all pretty good. I'm someone that has always found Frank Grillo, he's not a leading man, and he's voice acting Rick Flag Sr. here, and I don't know if his voice acting is really up to the others. Everyone else is very good. Alan Tudyk as Dr. Phosphorus is hilarious. Hilarious. There's also James Gunn's brother as Weasel returns, and the Nazi robot, I forget its name, but they ran that Nazi joke into the ground pretty quickly, didn't they? I just want to say I'm not someone that cares about nepotism. If James Gunn has a bunch of people that he works well with and do a good job, keep using them for all I care. I don't like that argument. Scorsese, Nolan, Spielberg, these people, they all use the same people. That's just a fact of life. Every job you've ever had, there's people that get preferential treatment in every job. It's just how the world works. It's who you know. It's written well. I mean, it's James Gunn. He knows how to write and write quickly. It sort of just comes out of him. It's like being inside his head, I think. That's why this video is titled his monster sex fantasy, because that's what it feels like. This is James Gunn's monster sex fantasy with a DC paint job over the top of it. It's going to tell a good, compelling story, I feel like. But again, dropping only the first 2 episodes is bizarre, because I have no real desire or hype to see the next episode. If this was just like one 2-hour-long animated movie that just dropped, yeah, that might have been a better way to do things. I'm not really the person that can talk about animation. I don't know what goes into animation. It all looks pretty good. So it's animated well. There's not really any score I can talk about. It's just a lot of rock songs, which is just, it's James Gunn. James Gunn Unleashed. So you're either going to like it or dislike it, or if you're like me, you're just going to go, the tones are clashing a little bit, But hey, it's someone's vision. This doesn't feel like a studio going, oh, pull this out and add that. That's the one thing that's going to be brilliant, or at least I hope, about the James Gunn DC universe. It will just be visions, which we all need right now. Well, like in our filmmaking, we need people with singular visions. I have nothing else to say other than I liked it. I am keen to see more, but I think I might wait till it all drops. I don't know, I just can't justify 25 minutes a week. Oh, Creature Commandos, I think I'll just wait. There's nothing I want to spoil because it really hasn't even got started. So yeah, that's Creature Commandos. It's not a bad show. It's not for kids, that's for sure. And it's just confirmed to me now that James Gunn has a sick mind. He is obsessed with animated female characters that are just caked to the clouds. I think I'm gonna stop talking, drink my tequila, and enjoy my Saturday. You should do the same. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.